Now, some time ago, I was challenged by the conspiracy theorists as to how the cars in the Twin Towers incident were burnt. Okay? Caught fire. And I said, in response, that I had no idea, because to say otherwise would not be the truth. All the conspiracy theorists of the Judy Wood camp leapt up and down and said, "Oh, that proves, you see, it was a laser weapon." Does it? Right. Where's your evidence? "Oh, well, how did the cars get to burn and all this?" Well, you tell me, that's not evidence. Where's the evidence? Why don't you be honest and say with me that you have no idea? This proves you're the one that's right. Oh, for goodness sake, grow up. Grow up. Come to the truth. You've no evidence. You simply got what we term as constructive knowledge. Poetic license to spin a story without any evidence. Okay? Now, I did point out also that time will have out, and it always does. That is, time will reveal the truth. We just need patience and respect for patience and for time to bring out, to reveal the truth. Now, when I spoke about the plane, a plane that hit the Twin Tower, conspiracy theorists, "No planes, no planes," they cried, "no planes." And eventually, as time went on, footage came to light from eyewitnesses on the ground that a plane, a military plane, a jet, hit one of the towers. Okay? And of course, the footage was later on doctored, that the military plane was taken out, footage of a passenger plane put in. Now here, we came across the other day a lady who was on site at the time, who answers how those vehicles caught fire. Let us speak.
Where were you and what were you on 9/11, the day of the 9/11 attack?
I was an EMT in New York City. My office was from the Bronx, New York, and I witnessed everything that day. I was on duty that day. And what happened that day was a lot of confusion, a lot of hurt. It was just, it was horrible.
It wasn't what they told us.
It was not what they told us. It was not what was on the media. It was totally opposite.
Totally opposite.
A lot of the stuff that I witnessed was not, was covered by the media. It was not shown. One of the things that I saw was we were helping the firefighters put out a fire 2 blocks away from the buildings. And a bomb squad came and they told us not to go in that block. And we were all like, okay, why? Why won't we go in that block? And we, stood back. As soon as we stood back from that block, the cars were just exploding, just coming up. Just
individually,
yes.
Each one had bombs in
one. I don't know if it was bombs, but they were exploding up.
Wow.
It looked like someone put bombs under them or something was in it. But how did the bomb squad know to tell us to move away from them,
exactly,
even before we were going into that block?
Exactly. Okay? Exactly. You heard it from the horse's mouth. And you tell me something. of all the blocks around that area. The bomb squad, who shouldn't have been there, who should never have been on site at all, happened to pick this particular block out of them all. And to tell this person and others with her not to go into that area over there. So basically what they are saying is quite evident, isn't it? That the pigging bomb squad had set charges underneath those vehicles and were telling these people, because they didn't want these persons on their conscience to get injured or killed. The bomb squad should never have been there. What was it doing? As she says, what the hell was it doing there? And it just happens to be that they're there at the right time and the cars blow up. So, you conspiracy theorists, are you going to call her, are you? Oh no, not directly, but indirectly. Because we're going to stand by that it was a laser weapon and it hit them. Right. So against the evidence, this woman being the evidence, giving the evidence, first-hand evidence, not a hostile witness, i.e. supporting the government, but plainly speaks as it is, as she saw it, as she was present. You conspiracy theorists, you can keep your life, you can keep your conspiracies, you can keep everything that you wish, calling people liars and so forth. If you can't swallow the truth, just go away.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many people witnessed this with you?
It was quite a few. It was a group of us. It was at least 10, 15 of us.
And they took pictures?
They took pictures of the surroundings. They took pictures of a lot of the flames, a lot of the burning building. Right before one of the buildings came down, they took pictures of that. We took pictures with the disposable cameras that we had in our rigs. And we always have a crash kit in each of the in the rigs. And that night, when we were all home or wherever we were at, we got a phone call from our superiors telling us to hand over the disposable cameras. Government officials wanted the cameras.
Really?
They did not want us to develop any of the pictures that we had. But we kept them. We all have pictures.
God bless you. That experience that affected you to the point you actually quit, what happened?
I did. I quit. I didn't go back to the service. I mean, it wasn't that exactly that made me quit, but it opened my eyes to a lot of the stuff that we see in the media, a lot of the things that the government talks about. Yeah. The truth, you have to look for the truth. Don't believe what they tell you. Just don't believe what you see out there. You have to see it for yourself.
God bless you. Where do you go to get your news now? What do you do?
Now, sometimes I read up on it, sometimes I just watch the TV, but I don't do much of that. Unless I see it for myself. Because I know what they're doing.
Yeah.
What else, is there anything else about that day that we should be aware of that have not been told yet?
A lot of the charities people gave money to, a lot of the like Red Cross and all that, they helped, but not enough. They were just, I mean, the firefighters needed so much help. They still need help. The NYPD still needs help. Sydney still needs help. Why are their funds being cut?
Because the incident is over, the free advertising for the Red Cross and others is over. So why not? They've gathered in their money. They've spent so much money on this matter. And then they just walk away, having had their free advertisement, free money, they just walk away. I'll tell you something about these pigging charities, national charities that gullible people support. And I'm not talking about the real sincere charities, okay, such as Marie Curie, alright? But the national charities, Heart Foundations, Bernardo's, Cancer Research and the rest, okay, they just waste money, gather money, waste money, do very little. The money that we have is best, and I live by what I say, is best if we take up a charity, and we should take up a charity, is a local charity. Okay? Support a school charity. Because then we know exactly where every penny is going. When it's not being squandered on furniture, carpets, lighting, gas, heat, and expensive managers with posh suits, expense accounts, meals out, hotels paid for, etc, 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 etc. Okay? The best charities are the local charities, children's charities, school charities. Come on, dear.
From this experience, who do you think is really responsible for the tax amendment?
I think the government knew all along. The government knew. I'm not too sure who. Like I said, I don't know who to believe, but I know there's something out there that they're not telling us. They're not.
God bless you. I mean, really, for everything you went through and being able to go ahead and still speak the truth, not be afraid to do that, because that's super important. I mean, you're an eyewitness to history. You are a part of it, and listening and what you have is golden. It should be heard. I want to thank you very much.
Thank you.
And
thank you for your stand.
Yes, indeed. A murderous US government, along with the UK government and other governments, killing people. There was no energy weapon. This woman speaks as she finds, as she was there on the day, so did the firemen and everybody else. And they are rejected by that religious group that worships Judy Wood, that preaches energy weapons. Yes, we know energy weapons exist. The conspiracy theorists shout at us, saying, "You don't believe energy weapons exist. They are here, I'll show you, I'll show you, I'll show you." Hang on a minute. Show some respect. But you can't. Children can't. Unruly children, that is. You don't know me. So you have no right to say I don't believe in energy weapons. I do believe that energy weapons exist. That they are in the experimental stage. That they have not been fitted, therefore, to military forces, the armed forces. There have been tests, 1 or 2 tests of shooting objects down, but they're still tests. And being tests, 2 or 3 times or so, they will hit the target, but then break down. We have tests at the moment with some of the British frigates with new weapon systems that work for a time and then they break down. And they've got to look at why they've broken down. And it's the same with the energy weapons. Why do these picking things break down? Because they do break down. These things do. Experimental stuff does break down. And you learn from this and correct the faults. But with direct energy weapons, like anything else, it takes time. It takes an awful lot of time to get to the bottom of things, to why they've broken down. This is why they're not fitted as standard to the armed forces, to aeroplanes, etc., to ships. And it's a cheaper method than firing pigging rockets off. And, what is more, it's more precise. So, you will still say that I'm against energy weapons, no matter what I say, because no matter what these persons say, you're against them. No matter what the firemen say on the day, you're against them. And you will always be against them, because your cult, and that's all it is, the Judy Wood's cult, cannot accept, in its blindness and darkness, the truth. And the truth is light, and you reject the light. This puts to bed how the vehicles were destroyed by bombs being planted under them, making them to blow up, shoot off into the air, with bomb disposal persons present at the time. The one goes with the other. And if you like, you conspiracy theorists, with your weapon, okay, your high-powered weapon, look at it this way. Two ways, in fact. Seeing that the bomb squad was on site, they knew, therefore, surely, where your laser weapon was housed, that it was going to be fired at these cars. So why didn't they go and disarm the energy weapon? And again, how did they know that these cars in this particular area were going to be blown up? And how does a laser weapon blow the cars up from underneath? And another point with your guru, who gets very upset when she's challenged over this theoretical, in this particular case, ray gun. Because nobody has seen it going down the pigging street. Nobody has seen it going into a pigging building. Nobody's seen it set up. Nobody's seen it being taken away. Nobody's seen it. That there is this point. I've never yet heard Judy Wood say that the US government was responsible for the murdering and maiming of all those office workers and persons on the ground. And persons on the ground are still dying from the effects of the Twin Towers coming down. She's never said once the government was responsible. Why? I dare somebody to ask Judy Woods who operated her laser weapon. Woo! She hit that piggin' of tiles had come off piggin' ass. I tell you, man, hands around your frigging throat, oh, she'd be, you know, she'd be piggin'-eyed in the space shuttle. Oh, heck, you daren't tell her, daren't ask her that. Who controlled the laser weapon? Who got a military laser weapon on site? Surely, therefore, Judy, it must have been the government. Come on, who did it? Because only the government owns the laser weapon, Judy. Hey? So this decent, honest, upright woman has put to bed that contention of the conspiracy theorists with all their words, and that's all they've got, words, who call down people like this about the vehicles being destroyed. She has made it once and for all plain. And I would like to see the lady bringing the photographs at some stage to the reporter, if the reporter has a mind, that is, to ask her for the footage, okay, the photos. Alright? But she said everything honestly that we would have said. She's not supported any side. She has been as clear as we are, as persons should be. Direct, clear, no conspiracy. Just plainly speak the truth as it is. Leave it at that.